My name is Gábor Palotai and I'm a graphic designer, and I have a studio called Gábor Palotai Design, and we're working with graphic design and art and all kind of visuality in this field. Well, I went in a general high school, and because I couldn't decide myself, but I knew that I'm not so good in mathematics and physics, and maybe if you don't know anything else, maybe you can be an artist. So I recognized in myself that I'm an artist, but I'm coming from a family. My mother is textile designer, and I'm so my social. So I lived in this kind of textile surroundings, yes. And but when I decided myself to go to the art university, so I started to draw, and this drawing changed my life in that time. That I started to see everything in another way. I mean, literature, poems, and also art, film. So I could see everything else in another kind of perspective. Mm-hmm. So maybe in that age I decided. I think I can say generally art, design, films, literature made me to, inspired me. I cannot say that specifically someone, but generally modern art and all the things that I could see, generally from art and also design, but I didn't follow or kind of style, or I cannot see a specific person. Yes, I went in we called Design Academy in Budapest. They called MOMA, Modern Art Design Academy now, they call it, and I'm also a professor in this academy, but I think the education in that time was a little bit limited, and we had to look out how other countries or all the information came from outside. Stockholm is maybe it wasn't decided from the beginning, but after my examinations show, someone invited me to Stockholm to make an exhibition, and so I went to Stockholm and stayed, and I went on the art academy and Beckman's design school. So I stayed and I started to work, but I always wanted to leave or move to, classic places like New York or London, but it worked here quite well, so I stayed, and I've been here in 40 years. So that's time going very fast. Yes, for me, there's no difference between art and design in that way, as the market dealing it up to two different cases. So for me, if I'm working for a client, we call it design. If we frame it, we call it art. But the approach, the start point is always a kind of artistic approach, what we use in a design situation. So for me today, when I do some graphics or do a form language, or experiment with something, we use it for clients too. So for me it's the same thing, and maybe this is the difference between maybe my works compared to other ones, that my starting point is always the artistic approach, to find something real, a kind of form language, or some kind of real artistic approach that we use, what we use or apply for a client or for a real case. Yeah, maybe it depends on what kind of personality you have, or your approach to things. Yeah, I know this feeling that someone says that I'm an artist and I don't do a book design or a catalog. But if you think about this, speaking about this Bauhaus tradition, I mean, those people made, Laszlo Moholy-Nagy made everything. Paintings, catalogs, teaching, different things, writing. So why not? You can do anything you want. But I understand the personality that they say that I'm not an artist, I'm not a designer, I'm not. But that problematics came along all my life. That question, when they say this is not art, this is not design. When I went in the school, design school, they told them, but this is not design, this is art. Maybe an artist could say that this is not art, this is design. So that question is coming with you in all your life. So that's the question all the time. But not for me. But that's a market question, what the market's saying about your things. But I think when you do something which doesn't fit in everything, generally in something, that's good. It shouldn't fit. Yeah, I heard that word Scandinavian design so many times, and maybe I'm understanding that in another way. Maybe they used to say the Scandinavian design is simple and very the simplicity, or not so decorated. But from my case, I'm combined with a kind of Central European tradition, or you mentioned Bauhaus or architecture with this Scandinavian style. But I don't know really what Scandinavian style. I don't want to use it because it's a kind of cliche for me. They used to say in other countries that what I do is Scandinavian, but I don't think that it is. I think maybe a kind of European style, or maybe Central European style, which has the roots in, as you told, the Bauhaus or modernism, or a kind of philosophy which maybe they don't have here. So, but I like the simplicity in this place, that you don't have to decorate so much. You mentioned the people from France, or that kind of part of Europe, that it's, for me, could be a little bit too decorated, or too one piece for more. I mean, I like to take away, take away, and then you have left something essential, and it could be dramatic. Maybe just one line, or one square, or one point, and it could be a dramatic simplicity. Right now, I would like to make artworks, which it's a clean artworks, but I could show in exhibitions. But I'm very interested in pictures, making pictures. I'm just discovered painting, but you know, I'm not a painter, but when I paint, I just recognize that it's a hard work, even if I only paint a piece of wood, a simple thing, but it takes many hours, and I can think between why I do this one, what I'm doing to do with that one. Is it bad? Is it good? So it's a good possibility to think. And at the same time, you can make expressing something and look at the picture looks back to you. So it's a kind of conversation with yourself. What's the meaning with that? So I'm interested that, and I never done it. So I do it now, and I'm enjoying to do something what I cannot do or I never done. So I think maybe the artistic thing to make exhibitions or make more art books for myself, but also working on real project for clients, as long as I can do it, or are they interested to give me that work. So I feel myself like a beginner. I know that it sounds very strange, but I think that now it's coming. Maybe now I start up. Maybe now it's actually not the opposite, that it's finished now, but I think now I started up really.